So today what I'm going to talk about is, did you marry your father? Hello and welcome to my happy cocoon. It's my soul sanctuary, my little van. It's a camper van. I can take it anywhere, and I like to do my musings with my van, going to different places and just being away from the house for a little bit, and just to relay my message and have my mind clear in imparting the message and the wisdom that I have learned all throughout my years. And I feel very comfortable in this van because it's very homey. It's got my personality all around it. I have everything that I need in case I get hungry or I get tired. I can take a nap and I can take it anywhere that I want, rather than being at home where we're on top of each other. I'm not really comfortable talking about my feelings when I can feel like maybe my neighbors can hear me. And so this is why I'm in the camper van, and my camper van's name is YOLO. You only live once. And I will give you a tour sometime later, but today I would really like to give you guys a little message about my musings and what I think about fathers as role models to their children. The title says, did I marry my own father? Well, not literally, of course. I did. It did happen to me. And so this is what I'm gonna tell you today is just based on my experience. I am not a professional psychiatrist or a counselor or anything like that, but I don't think that you need to be a graduate or you got to get a PhD for psychiatry or psychology in order to share your life experiences. Life experience, it's life university, because life teaches a lot of lessons, and this is just going to be raw. It's not going to be technical. I actually don't like being technical because sometimes it's easier for people to relate when you give them life experiences as opposed to technical terminologies for what maybe they're experiencing in their lives. It's probably easier to just hear it from someone who has been around in this world for so long and have negative and positive experiences from the time I was born to this time. So today what I'm going to talk about is, did you marry your father? For me, yes, I did. My father, growing up, was a very intelligent person. Got to give him that. You got to give credit where credit is due. Very intelligent. He was a Wharton graduate. If you don't know what Wharton is, it's an Ivy League school in Pennsylvania, University of Pennsylvania, and he graduated he got his bachelor in business. Very smart, very business savvy. He is a hustler. He can pretty much tell you anything about economics. Very, very intelligent, very articulate. People have called him a technocrat in the Philippines. Technocrat is like an aristocrat. Aristocrat has money, very rich, but a technocrat is rich in information and education. He was a teacher at a prestigious university. This is how he met my mother. But during the time that we were growing up, I mean, what can I say? I don't know how it is in the Philippines now, but when I was growing up, most of the men do cheat on their wives. That's just a way of life. Pretty much. Not everybody, I'm not saying everybody was, but most of the men, especially the men who are emotionally inept. So you're very smart, but you lack common sense. And I feel that that was my father. The whole time I was growing up, he had side chicks. and we knew about it. We knew that he was far detached and disassociated from us, the kids. My mother was the one who took care of us. She was the one who put her nose to the grind and raised us and made the money. He helped her with the business the successful business that she had, and he was giving her a lot of tips and education on how to be a successful businesswoman, and she learned. But she was a hustler too, but she had street knowledge. She grew up very poor, and she worked really hard for what she had, or what she has now. And so, but growing up, I just remember that she was the one who was working really hard while he was going out on her. And there was a lot of tears and a lot of pain that I saw in her. And whatever your parents do will impress something in their kids' brains and hearts. Without going further, I mean, I can keep going, delving deeper into it as we go on, but without having to go further into it, as I grew up and I chose the men that I chose the men who closely resembled my father and how he treated. I was feeling, this is my own opinion, I was feeling that I always feel like I can help this guy. I'm attracted to them. They seem to be, accommodating. They're very sweet, and they would tell you anything that you want to hear. They would in the beginning give you what you wanted emotionally. And I mean, I'm a pretty attractive girl growing up. Not so much now, but I can show you pictures, like, okay. But I never made that like the priority in my life. Like, I wish that somebody would have told me that you are worth more and you deserve more in life than how your father is treating your mother, because I saw that, and I associated that with the people that I chose. And it seems like in my forehead it says loser, a loser magnet. So I did attract men who were abusive. They could be abusive. They could maybe not cheat on me, but I think a couple of them did. But maybe not so much that, but physical abuse, verbal abuse, detachment, emotional detachment, just going through the marriage. And this is why I've been married a few times, and I will be the first one to admit that, because I was looking for the person who I needed and I deserve. But however, I was attracting the men who are reading from psychological response to them, or physical response to them, that they are okay to do this to me. And I to this day, I don't understand it. Maybe you guys can put something in the comment, what you think it is. But I did attract those types of men. And I realized that when my father got old, and he was sick with cancer, and he died from cancer, and I realized that had he, or educational intelligence as much as emotional intelligence, I probably would have picked a man who would treat me how I deserve to be treated. So, but I mean, that's neither here or there. I have risen up like a phoenix. I did not make that defined me as a person, because I also had enough emotional and mental intelligence to say, hey, you are worth more than these people are treating you, and you should not keel over and die, or become an alcoholic or become a drug addict, just so that you can go through life, trying to fix yourself and trying to fix these men who are never going to be. You just don't have the control. You just have, if they're not willing to change for themselves, there's no way that you can change them. So if you're in this kind of relationship, you have to really dig deep and go inside your heart and ask yourself, is this the type of guy, is this the type of life that I want for the rest of my life? If you're already being punished in your own home right now, and your own home is not a safe sanctuary or a secure sanctuary where you're being treated as the princess that you are, really, because your creator created you to become somebody who is worth loving. If God can love us, here's the thing, if God can love you as imperfect as you are, then that kind of love is the only love that you deserve, number one, and that's the only love that you should be focused on. And that's the only, the person who does that for you in your heart should be the only person that you should focus your life on. And God loves you. Jesus died for your sins, died for everybody's sins, not just pick here and there whoever loves him. He died for everybody's sin. That's so much so that he would forgive you for anything that you've ever done. And that's a fact. And for me, when I learned that the only person that I should please is God, then the heavens opened up, my mind opened up to say that if you focus on God, God will give you the person, the actual person that's gonna love you as much as he does. Maybe not as much, because God, I mean, his love is agape, which is unconditional. We as humans love conditionally, no matter what. I mean, we're not perfect, because we're not perfect. My point today is, if you are a man who has children, whether they're daughters or sons, it doesn't matter, because they look up to you and they look to you as a role model. If your daughter brought you home, brought her potential husband home to you, who's just like you, okay, would you let her marry him? So if the answer is no, if the answer is yes, well, the perfect, okay. But if the answer is no, then you should change your ways. You really should look deep into your heart, change your ways, so that your daughter will see the person that she will marry in the future that is just like you. The man that you would want your daughter to marry and that your son would become to his future wife, be that man. Show an example, be the role model to treat your wife, their mother, baby mama, whatever. Treat them with respect. And to do that, you have to nurture your relationship. You have to have date nights. You have to be a team when it comes to discipline. You need to discipline your kids. I mean, in this world, the discipline is just like almost null and void. Like people become parents just because they have kids, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they could be good parents. So disciplining your children, spare the rod, spoil the child. That's what the Bible says. Teach them how to control their anger, control themselves. You don't have to. I mean, a lot of parents these days don't like to spank their kids, but in old school, they were disciplined. They weren't spanked to hurt, but they were spanked so that they can learn the lesson. Like, if there are consequences, if you act this way, you will get smacked. Doesn't mean you have to hit them hard. No, I am against that. And I'm just telling you, when I was disciplining my children, I would just threaten to spank them. I spanked them once, and they learned from that. And every time I threaten to spank them, they already know what it feels, so they will do what and chill. So I mean, my daughter does not believe in spanking. That's her prerogative. A lot of parents out there don't believe in spanking. That's your prerogative. But you need to really find another type of discipline where your kids are going to learn from it. That's how they go through life. Because if they don't know how to control their anger, control themselves, it's going to be hard for you, because they're going to grow up and they're going to do to you just exactly what you let them get away with doing, and it's not going to be nice. It's not going to be good. Then they're out of control. You're having to go and get outside sources to help you out. Just nip it in the bud. Start young. And the formative years are from birth to 7 years old. So whatever you teach your kids from this time to this time, it's going to stay with them all throughout their lives. My father, although the way he was a disciplinarian, a little bit overboard sometimes, yes, I admit. But when I was on my own out there in the world, and people are coming at me, temptations here and there and the other, especially when it comes to drugs and alcohol, there's peer pressure, and there's peer pressure coming from every side. I was 18 when I moved here to America. I'll tell you the story some other time, but when I moved to America, I was 18 going on 19, and I was still pretty fresh and young and impressionable. Kids are very impressionable. Anything that they see with their mom and dad, they will soak that in. Never too late. I mean, they can be teenagers. You can always train them at any time, as long as they're still under your roof. I mean, when they're 30 and they're out of the house and they came back, that's all I knew. I mean, I hope that this message will help you guys out when your kids are still young, because it's very important to start their morals young. And a lot of the things that are going on in this world today is because of the lack of discipline when they were children. And the ones who did have discipline are the ones who are actually hoping and trying to do something about it in this world. I'm not going to get into that, because I just focus on children, because that's the future. That's the world that we're going to leave when we're gone. We're a dying breed. I mean, people who actually are old school are a dying breed. If you're not showing the good example to your children today, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. Would you take a chance? Would you take a chance in having your children not have that role model when they pick the person that they're going to marry? Would you take a chance with that? I wouldn't. I mean, I nipped it in the bud when I was training my kids, when I was disciplining my kids. I didn't discipline them the way my mom and dad disciplined me, because I thought that it was a little bit extreme, the spanking, putting me down and saying I can't do this, I can't do that. That's not how I raised my kids. I think I raised them a little bit more to the other side, overboard, just a little bit. Bringing them down to earth when they're almost bragging. I pull them right back to earth. and uh, and I try to give them advice with my grandkids, because I feel that my grandkids should grow up in an environment where they are loved, and they're given worth, and they're smart, and they are valued as a person. That's I believe that that's the whole focus of growing up and being a wholesome person, I believe. Further, with respect, after respect, you need to show affection. It's very important to show affection not only to your spouse but also to your children, because those are the quality time that they will remember when they grow up. They would remember that quality time. Be slow to anger. Really control your anger when it comes to your children, because children will really push it. They will really do everything to, as they're gonna go so far to push you to see how far you can be pushed. Corinthians 3:21 says, fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. That's so important. That is so important when it comes to children, because they are so tender. They're very impressionable. They will look to you for guidance. And if you guide them in your own will and not in the will of God, it's going to ruin their life pretty much, you know? Because we're all human too, and we're very erroneous. We're erroneous human beings, and we make mistakes, but we can try to do the best that we can, to do as much as we can for the children according to God's will. And then life, I mean, seriously, if we just apply all these good values to our children, the world would be fixed. I really feel that. I really feel that. And God will be right there helping us out throughout the whole ordeal until they're 18. Then they can go out and do the same. I mean, we can pass this on really from one generation to another. And why not? Why not do that? I mean, it's the right thing to do as a parent, you know. Not a lot of parents anymore that are doing these things, and it really it makes me sad, because they just become baby machines, just making babies for whatever reason. Most reasons are to have a family, but then once they're there, it's like, what do? They don't come with a book instruction. They don't come with a manual. So you're on your own. You're pretty much doing it on your own. You're just grappling just like everybody else. You know, when you're a first time mother, you don't know what to do. I mean, you can get advice from your own mother if it's available, but you don't really know what to do. This message is not just for men. This message is also for single mothers out there who do not have husbands to help them out with the children. I feel like it's not exclusive to men, you know. Children will also look up to their mother for guidance if they don't have a father, for grandparents who take care of their grandkids because the parents aren't there. Same thing. Do the best that you can, because it's really very important for children to grow up. I could be just talking and just yapping and just chitter chattering, and you know, you might not feel that it's easier said than done. Really though, if you really think about it, it is easier said than done if you just put the mind and the heart together, just mesh together. You would be surprised the results of what you can get out of your children. If you want, you can put a question in the comments or ask me anything, and I can do a video of it. because if one person is asking a question, I'm pretty sure that there are others out there who would be asking the same questions. And I hope that you do ask questions. I don't have all the answers, but I will try my very best according to my experience. Again, caveat, this is according to my experience, and my children are pretty wholesome people. I'm very proud of that. If I didn't have wealth throughout my life, I don't regret a single minute of it, because my children are very wholesome people. They're not perfect people, but the way they're raising their children right now, I'm so amazed. And they turned out to be really good people, hardworking, very sensitive to other people, very charitable, very concerned, and I can't ask for anything more. I mean, I can die happy right now. And the only reason why I'm doing this is because I want to share everything with you. If there's any time in my life that the perfect time for me to share it, it's now. I'm almost 60, and one more year. I don't even know why I just, divulged I divulged my age, but I'm almost 60, and I won't be in this world too long, and I want my grandkids to know that I cared about them. I want them to grow up knowing that they were left with people who will love them and will cherish them and will give them a wholesome life just as much as I did for my own children. So again, did we answer the question? Are you the type of person that you would want your children to marry? If the answer is yes, then hey, keep it going. More power to you. Love it. If not, please, let's make a change today. There may be a part two because I've been yapping so long. I don't know how long this video is going to be. It's going to be chopped up so much that I might have to put the whole thing, and then there's like a shorter version. I don't know. But further, okay, if you are in a situation right now where you can't get out of, just know that you can. Just know that you can. There are so many resources out there that can help you out. There are so many people out there that are willing to help you out, and make a plan. Make a plan to get out of an abusive relationship. I know it's not going to be easy, and you're going to have to be very crafty, but there are people out there who are going to be willing to help you out. I have been in the same situation before, and sometimes I feel like, are people really gonna be willing to help me out or not? The answer is yes, they will, especially the ones who know what you're going through, and the ones that know that if you are in trouble, that you need the help. Just reach out. That's the only thing that you can do, is reach out. It's very scary, I know. I've been through the same situation, and the only other advice that I can give to you is that pick the person, vet the person, the next person that you let into your life, that you let into your children's life. Make sure that you vet them, get to know them for at least a year or more before you commit to them. Don't live with them. I mean, this is just my opinion, my own experience. Don't live with them. Just wait, just chill out, and get to know them spend a lot of time with them, even if you spend overnight or whatever. I really don't advise it. If you, one more thing is maybe something that we'll talk about later on about sex before marriage is very important. I know it's very hard for people. It was so hard for me. It was so hard for me. But in the long run, only going to benefit your life. Because if a guy, and you guys out there, if the woman says, hey, I don't want to have sex before marriage because I want to make sure that I'm not making a mistake, the person that will be all okay with that is the person that's going to be the one that is worth it. Because if they're willing to wait, if they're willing to do it the right way, then that's the kind of person that you would want to be with for the rest of your life. Because you know that not only does he respect you, he also respects your wishes, and he also values your values, and the best one is that God will God will bless that marriage when it's done that way, because he knows that if you are willing to sacrifice not having premarital sex, he's going to bless you so much in your life when you do get married, because this is his will. You did it according to his will, not your own will. He'll bless your marriage. Just stay at it. Stay with him. Read your Bible. Have Bible prayer together. And it's not going to be perfect. I never said that, because my marriage is far from perfect. It's so far from perfect. And the reason why I'm laughing is because it's not perfect, sometimes you think, oh, this is gonna be perfect. I found the perfect match. I found the perfect person. Nay. It's never going to be perfect. Why? Because we live in a very sinful world. This world is very sinful. The only time we're going to be perfect in God's will is if Jesus comes home and Jesus rescues us from this evil world. There's no way. So don't expect perfection, okay? It's hard work. 97% hard work and 3% love. I added 2 more percent because they said 99% work and 1% love. No, I added 2 more because love deserves more percentage than work. Okay, so 3% love and 97% work. That's just how it's going to be. You have to work at it no matter what time of your life you're in. Whether you're 60 and you're just meeting the man of your dreams, it's going to be hard. It's harder probably for someone that old to be, to get along, because they're already set in their ways. Like if I had to, meet someone right now, jeez Louise, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. I would have to vet him for at least 5 years before I really commit. No, I don't know. I'm not saying whatever. You can't really predict the future, but the best you can do is do the best you can, right? Okay, guys. So thank you so much for stopping by and for listening. I hope that you click the like button if you got some value from this video, and also please subscribe, because I have so much more experience, so much more in detail. I'm doing it for the purpose of helping people out, helping people get value from my own experience. And that's it, really. I have no other motive whatsoever or any agenda. God is pressing in my heart to do this. I've prayed about this. I have asked God to help me find a way to help other people from the experiences that I've had in the past. And the answer is this. I mean, I am trying to overcome my fear of public speaking, and I'm starting out with a camera in front of me and you guys behind it. So hopefully you guys come back. Please don't forget to subscribe, click the bell so that anytime I come out with a new video, which is probably I'm going to try to do it every week, maybe even twice a week, hopefully. If I see you guys welcoming my message into your life and I see that it is bringing value to your life, then I'm going to do twice a week. I might even do a live.